What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again, coming at you half man, half machine for another Destiny 6 video. Yeah, JK, right? So if you guys didn't hear, a couple of days ago, I recently had a shoulder surgery. I tore my labrum literally 3 months ago and finally was able to get everything settled to have the surgery and now get into that process of recouping and recovering. So, this week I was honestly not going to make any videos, but because of the fact that they recently dropped a pretty big update, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little update basically on what's going on with it and just kind of share my thoughts about it, because I think there's been a lot of talk in the community about some of the things that were recently implemented, and I definitely wanted to shed my personal thoughts on the subject here. So, as far as the first thing goes, we're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on. We have the Tower of Promises reset. We got the Carol of Trials recently ending with regards to Season 1. Some hero balancing changes. And of course, we have a couple of, we got new units here that we're going to go ahead and take a look at and possibly do some summons to see if we can get her and possibly a Scissor Shaolin if we're lucky. But first and foremost here, let's get on with the Tower of Promises. Now, this is something that I think everybody was pretty excited about. Obviously, when you first come into the game and you get an opportunity to do the Tower of Promises, similar to other games out there, any opportunity to get some rewards that are going to be free for you is obviously really good. A lot of us were concerned early on is that, once it is all clear, where do we go from here? Are they going to incorporate some more floors, or are they going to allow us to reset it on a monthly basis or bi-monthly? What's the case going to be? It looks like Netmarble did decide to go ahead and reset it. I think that was the best choice as it is, because of course it's a free-to-play player. We're going to be limited on the types of resources that we can get. You guys have heard in the community about the Legendary Awakening materials, the limited amount of certain things that we get, whether it's those or the skill Ragoons. So any and all opportunity to get some more free rewards, especially for the free-to-play community, is going to be really, really nice here. So I'm really looking to take advantage of that. I think I'm on like stage 9 right now, just kind of working my way up. But as for right now, I'm just going to do a little farming because I need some money, right? Next one up is the Carol's Trial. Now, the Carol's Trial recently ended their Season 1, and there's going to be quite a few changes going on for the upcoming season here. So, funny enough, I didn't realize, I didn't even think about the fact that it was going to be certain seasons, but I'm glad that they did that. Now, for those that don't know, I'm actually going to start with a little bit of a story sort of peek. And this story is called The Big Three, right? If you guys are not familiar, in the D6 community, the Big Three has been classified as 3 particular units that just essentially take this game by storm, okay? You got Rock June, you got Scissor Colada, and then you got Paper Adonis. Now, this particular combination is something that you guys have seen time and again on a variety of YouTubers and streamers channels alike. They've basically been showing the synergy of this team, allowing them to have essentially a ton of DPS, a ton of utility, a ton of rotating skills, keeping yourself invulnerable by means of the Paper Adonis, and then using the skills of Rock June and Carlotta to go ahead and cycle those cooldowns super low, so that you could just constantly keep on casting your skills over and over again. And with regards to Carol's Trial, what that has allowed the user to do is essentially keep their shields up for an infinite time, being able to cycle them, and essentially allowing them to take the 30,000, the 50,000, or even the 100,000 gold that they spend and turn it into thousands of rubies, essentially giving them free rewards. Obviously, there was some changes that need to be made. A lot of people were talking about in the community. Do certain units need to get nerfed? Do certain units need to get buffed? My personal thought on it was, I'm a guy that, when I look at a game that's in its infancy, right, and mind you, infancy, it's going on 8 to 9 months now, it gets a little bit scary when they start to nerf units, relatively quickly. I probably would prefer a little bit more on the buffed end versus the other ones, but, quite honestly, and this is my personal opinion, I know some of you guys are going to not really like it or whatnot, but like I said before, I'm not a big fan of the nerfing aspect, but considering that there is a unit out there that is a defense scaling, ignore defense monster that has more utility than a lot of the units out there by means of cooldown reduction and the damage potential that it can do, essentially breaking the mechanics of certain stages. I personally felt like, even though I didn't want to see a nerf, that Rock June could have had a nerf there, but it looks like they essentially buffed up other units to kind of match it up there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I didn't see it. Again, I still got a couple of pain medications kind of flowing through my head, so maybe I haven't seen everything. But honestly, with respect to what could be done My thought process was they were probably going to nerf Rock June and then kind of leave the other units alone. Maybe a little bit of a reduction, but I honestly think they were not going to change Scissor Colada and Paper Adonis. Now, here's the reason why I thought that. I thought that because with regards to Scissor Colada and Paper Adonis, both of those units are OP, but both of those units can be controlled. The heal or the cooldown acceleration of Carlotta is a buff, and essentially that can be stripped. And then, of course, with regards to Paper Adonis, the invulnerability shield basically keeps you immune from everything, right? But it can be stripped as well. So when it comes to the PvP world, it can be countered. And then when it comes to PvE on the Carol's Trial, unfortunately, in Season 1, they did not have anything that can potentially strip them out there. So my personal thought was, hey, maybe they're just going to go ahead and incorporate some units that can strip buffs or strip shields, incorporate that into the game right now, or I guess now they're planning on waiting until Season 2 so that somebody cannot essentially cycle through those abilities like they are and do it and, you know, basically get those, you know, essentially the tons and tons of rewards here. So when it comes to all three of those units, again, the main two, the Scissor Colada and the Paper Adonis, I think they can be controlled. They are counterable, but for me, Rock June, he was just so strong, and I've said it in countless videos, right? I always thought he was a little bit broken. The damage potential, the utility that he brings on that second skill, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was nuts here. But that being said, I'm hoping that they can change a couple of different mechanics on him. Maybe even incorporate some unique mechanics on some bosses so they can't be one-shotted, or if they lose a certain amount of HP, maybe some kind of countermeasure comes into play. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential to be had here, so that somebody basically doesn't say, hey, you know what, like I don't even have to try anymore because I got Rock June. And that's, for me, that's what it personally has been. He's just super strong here. But nevertheless, they made a couple of changes for some of the units that are out there. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, they have a little events measure that they've showed, you know, showcase a couple of the units there. So definitely go ahead and check them out. I'm not going to go through all of them, as I want to give you guys an update on what's going on for the rest of the video, right? Give you guys an update on some of the other new things that are coming into play here. So next one up, let's get into the newer unit. I think it's Elke, right? She's one of the Silvas faction units, the new natural 5-star. We're going to be taking a look at her real quick, talk about the pros and cons of her, and see how we can go ahead and incorporate her in a couple of our teams here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at her. So the first one we got for you is going to be Scissor Elke. Now this one is really unique. I'm really excited to showcase this because this is like an extreme kind of a hybrid here. It's an HP scaling breaker, healer, and damage dealer here. So let's take a look at her skills. First skill being the Eclipse is going to be a vacuum or a charging type of breaking ability that is going to provide us a debuff that increases the damage that is done on that particular enemy here. So if you get yourself in a situation where you're finalizing that the breakpoints on a particular monster and land that harmful effect, not only are you going to be able to do a ton of damage by the means of breaking the actual unit, but even more damage with that particular debuff here. As you can see, I like the scaling on this one from level 1 to level 3 and from level 3 to level 5 respectively. With some of the other skills out there in the current game, there is a substantial jump from like level 1 to level 2, almost not even motivating you to skill it up completely. But with regards to this skill, I think the amount of damage or harmful effect improvements with regards to the skill is improved evenly. It makes it even more valuable to go ahead and take advantage of here. So at max there, we're going to be looking at 75% of your max HP. These percent chance of vacuuming or charging is going to go up to 60%, and this one again is going to be hitting for a multi-hit here. And then of course we got the damage the target's going to be taking by 50% for 15 seconds, and this is should cover the majority of that break time once you get that unit breaking down there. So really nice. And again, once you have it maxed out, we're going to have 3 breakpoints on that particular skill. Now, next one we got for you is going to be Twilight. Now, this is a really unique skill. This one's going to be providing a heal over time, as well as some immediate heal if you are in the attack range. And then, as you can see, even at level 1, it's going to offer us a chance to remove 1 debuff from the allies here. So it's going to provide a little bit of cleanse here, okay? As we move it up here, we will notice that we will see a little bit of reduction on the cooldown, as well as the improvement of the immediate heal and the heal over time. When it is completely maxed out, we're going to have a damage equal to 83% of caster's max HP. We're going to have 30% of the caster's HP when inside the attack range, but again, notice that the chances of a buff removal doesn't improve to remove any extra. It's going to be just 1 buff removal. But again, having a 100% buff removal debuff removal I'm really excited about. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to take a look at it because I want you guys to see kind of what we're looking at here, okay? Take a look at the range here so you guys can get an idea. Like when I think about this range and this skill, I think it's really good. And as you can see, we're hitting this, particular group of 3 for 5 hits, and each of those hits have a 16% chance to do. And then, of course, now take note at this one here. This is the AoE Twilight that provides the damage as well as the heal. Now, take note, because she is actually in that aura, she's getting that heal on top of the damage that is already done to the monsters. And of course, like I said before, even if she's not in the heal, right, she's still going to get that hit point recovery. 5% of the team HP and the 10% of the caster's max HP 4 times. So really unique. And of course, like I said before, if you're in it, you're gonna get that immediate hit point recovery, so that you can get a nice heal. And you can kind of see that boost right when you cast that skill. So really unique monster. How it's gonna be incorporated, taking advantage of that immediate heal, I don't know, because when you think about getting involved in some of those late game fights, and if you get kind of close to some of those units, if they're not stunned down or locked down, you risk the opportunity of taking some damage from your main guy. So I'm curious to see how people are going to incorporate this on their team. Are they going to use it in that middle spot, take that leader role, or are they going to incorporate it on in the left side or right side? Because as you guys know, who's ever in that middle spot is going to be controlling the way of how your units go. So if you're trying to take advantage of this particular skill, being able to get in the range and take advantage of the heal, you're going to have to make sure that not only are you providing the damage where you need it to be, but making sure your units are in the area that they need to be as well here. So really unique concept. I'm glad that Netmarble is starting to incorporate a little bit more hybrids here. I'm a big fan of pure DPS or pure heals and whatnot, but hybrids give you a little bit more of an option to kind of mess around with. And one of the things that we're going to talk about at the end of this video after we do some summons is what kind of monsters would you guys like me to see 6-star, as I've been saving up some 5-star fodder to go ahead and level up and get some units awakened out here. We got a couple of new units to go ahead and showcase for you guys. Okay, so let's take a look here. Now we're going to look at Paper Elke. We're going to look at the awakened version here. This one here, let's go ahead and take a look at the skills or the stats here. No, overall, not too bad. Now, skill-wise, this is a really unique concept here. We got an AoE damage, 45% of the max HP, and a 60% chance to restrain for 3 seconds here. So this may not make too much sense, having some kind of restrained or root-like ability when you first get started out. But if you take a look at its second skill, you'll kind of get an idea why. So this is a particular unit that's going to provide a little bit of DPS, but also provide a status activation chance by 30% for 4 seconds, and also decrease the target status resistance by 35%. So it's a nice little 1-2 punch. Obviously, we're looking for the buff at hand, but if we land the debuff, we're going to get a little bit more value out of this skill and be able to really get all of our harmful effects to land. So if you're a big fan of some of those endgame Giants bosses or the conquest stages, and you're having a hard time getting something that's going to be a little bit more stable as far as landing those debuffs on a consistent basis, this is going to be able to help you out. Let's go ahead and max this skill out. As you can see, the status activation chance goes up all the way to 80% for 4 seconds here, and the 50% chance to decrease target's resistance by 50%. I mean, I'm really excited about this because this is going to help out a lot of people that are really struggling to get themselves, that high of a resistance chance. This is going to be really nice for the meta when it comes to PvP. When you think about some of the end-all be-all compositions that are set up and employed, this one here, having that surge, that high amount of status activation chance is going to allow us to take some of the unique units in the game that is really relying upon a status activation and lock your opponents down in the PvP world. We've seen a lot of different YouTubers and streamers out there showcase a couple of teams that are not just based on Rock, June, Scissor Colada, and Paper Donnas. They're using a couple of debuff teams, crowd control teams to go ahead and get the job done. And when you think about the status activation at hand for this particular unit, it's really strong. One thing I did want to mention here, though, is take note that it is a 4 seconds here when it's maxed out on 80 for 80%, with its skill. But if you look at this one here, and you cast the skill, take a look at the top left. Notice that the buff is actually giving you 8 seconds versus 4 seconds. Now, I don't know if that's an error. Maybe it's an actual 8-second buff versus a 4-second. I don't know. But either way, if you micromanage your skills, which it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, you're controlling the fight. You're going on the offensive, right? If you're managing your skills wisely in those 4 seconds, if it's 4 seconds or 8 seconds, you can get your skills casted and lock them down. Now, the question of it is that can you manage your skills to get enough value out of those 8 seconds when everything's all set in place? And I feel like, you know, with regards to a lot of different crowd controlling attacks, you know, the stunning mechanic or whatever the case may be, they may last for 3 to 5 seconds. After that first round of CC is done, if you can get that second CC in, and that particular type of CC is a little bit longer in duration, then that can really help you out control the fight so that you can knock them out really, really quick. So again, the second skill here, it's going to be able to restrain the enemy here. It's going to be rooting these guys down. And one thing that is not noted in the skill that I did take note is if you look in there when the skill was casted, the debuff duration gets improved as well. There's my wife checking in. GG. She's just making sure that I'm still in one piece, right? So even though the skill doesn't say anything about debuff duration, it looks like that's incorporated into the skill here. So what that's going to allow you to do is keep that status resistance on a little bit longer, keep those debuffs on a little bit longer from your other skills here so that you can crowd control that boss the way you want to. So really unique skill. I'm really happy for everybody that's going to be summoned this time around. I think this unit is going to be really, really cool to incorporate in the meta. It's going to introduce a couple of more teams for people that haven't been too fortunate with the big 3 or other units out there. Instead of just going for raw damage, now they can essentially crowd control the fight, take some of these units that they've been incorporating in their Giant Speed 10 team, or sorry, Giant Speed 10, Giant Speed 8 team, some of those bleed effects, those burn effects and whatnot, and be able to use them in the PvP world to go ahead and climb up rank here. So really unique concept indeed. The next one up, we got the Guild Conquest rewards. Now we currently get a certain amount of fragments and golds in these particular chests. However, now they're saying that they're going to be giving us some 5-star heroes. So I'm not sure if they're just going to go ahead and up the amount of fragments that we get, or if we're going to actually get a whole 5-star hero, right? A whole 100 fragments here. So if you guys have any information on that, please let me know in the description down below. I'm really curious to find out, you know, what is going on that front here. So either way though, let's go ahead and get up into this. Oh, it looks like the 11 o'clock mark has hit. So now we've had the recent setup here, which is funny that it happened. So we'll take a look here to see what we got going on. Ooh, definitely want to go ahead and get this superior scroll. We'll pop that one, as well as some others. And then the other thing that they did update on this one is the black market. Now they're saying that there's a couple of other things that they've incorporated in the black market. Currently right now, the gold, the legendary orb, the epic crest, the summoning scroll, all this stuff I've already seen. Nothing's you know, unique in that matter here, but maybe there's going to be some other unique things that I have not seen that we'll be able to see, you know, down the road here. So we got the scrolls collected, and we currently have Elke as well as Shaolin available for us. Now, you guys already know, I've been really, really etching for that Scissor Shaolin here. So we're going to do about 5, I think we're going to do about 6 summons here. 3 in Elke and 3 in Shaolin. And hopefully we can get, you know, something exciting for y'all to see. But honestly, I'm really, really looking for Scissor Shaolin. I think she just provides so much utility. It's kind of hard not to, like, you know, want her really, really bad, right? So let's go ahead and start out with Elke, the new unit. When it comes to this particular one, I'm obviously a big fan of the Scissor version. Both of them are really unique. I can, you know, use any one of them, but the Scissor version I think would be really, really cool. Okay. So there was one. Let's see if we can get lucky here. We used to be really good at getting the orange sparks with these single summons, but right now we're not feeling that love. We're trying to get lucky here. Okay, we got a 4-star. We'll take a 4-star, right? I will always take 4-star skill ups here. Still need a paper Soho, so if I can get that one, I will be really, really good. Because we need one more here. Ooh, this is actually a new unit, a Ruru here. We got a breaker debuffer combo, so I'm kind of excited to see what she can do. Again, it's not too often that we get new 4-stars here once you've been playing the game for a month, considering how many different 4-stars they give you. But again, I will definitely take that. That's just more units that I can go ahead and awaken to get that collection codec finish here. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on through this. We obviously don't really care about the 3 stars. We're looking for that 5-star Shaolin. Give me that gold. Give me the gold. Come on now. Oh my goodness. One more for good luck. One more for good luck. Here we go. Oh my god, okay. Not lucky this time around. Not lucky this time around. Again, we're going to be saving some of those scrolls as I will probably be doing some more collaboration videos down the road for some summons. I hope you guys enjoyed that last video. If you did, let me know. I appreciate your feedback on that. Now, as I stated at the end of the video, what we're going to go ahead and do is take a look at my current monster box or hero box here and see what you guys are kind of feeling. As you guys know, I have Rock Chun, I have Scissor Colada, and I've been using Paper Fran for a very long time. In previous, I'd say about 4 to 5 days ago, I was fortunate enough to do a single scroll, and I did get the paper Adonis, as you guys can see right here. So I technically do have the big 3, so I can stop, cringing about not having the paper Adonis, right? But obviously, me personally, I love the game. I love where it's at, and I know that a lot of people are gonna look at me a little weird at this, but I enjoy. I really do enjoy the challenge here, and when I have certain monsters that make it just without a doubt just way too easy to get through, it kind of brings me down. So I'm looking to build a couple of unique monsters that maybe you guys have that you're looking to see showcased. Maybe you haven't seen it on other channels here, so I'm looking to get your feedback on that, on what you want me to do. Just to kind of my personal thought right now, when it comes to the 5-star ones that we got available, we have both Arcanas. We have the Scissor Tasia and the Scissor Benito. We also have Rock Adonis, and I think we have we have Rock Helga, Rock Shaolin. We got a couple of monsters there. We got Rock Yona that we can build as well. I have enough to 6-star Scissor one and a Rock one. Now I really want to go ahead and do the Scissor Benito. I think that's a really unique monster. The 4-point breaking when we get it maxed out. The stun shotgun mechanic is really unique. So I'm looking to build that one up. Hopefully you guys are on that same wavelength here. But when it comes to Rock units, what are you guys thinking on that? I do feel like the Rock Shaolin is a really unique monster, a little bit underrated. That buff mechanic, the buff duration improver, really is super cool, combined with certain other units that provide these longer out of buffs. So I mean, I'm looking forward to messing around with it, testing it out. But if you have a different monster that you guys want me to test out, something that you guys haven't seen in the meta, we don't see a lot of again, Rock Adonises. We don't see a lot of Rock Arcanas, people using those out there. They're kind of very niche, so I'm curious to kind of get your feedback on that, as I will definitely take it in consideration when I evolve some of these 5-star units to 6-star here. So that's where I'm going to leave you at that, guys. Thank you all so much for your support. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Again, my apologies as I am looking a little broken here. I'm even going to show you. Look at this. I got things hanging around here. I have all this stuff that I'm holding on to just so I can do this video for you guys. I got to plug myself back into my machine. I feel like a Terminator right now. I got this machine that pumps water circulation through my shoulder and through this little piece of armor here, and then it also compresses, knee compresses here. So I got to get back on my machine before I get in trouble. Okay, got to get that done a few times a day. But either way, guys, I wanted to take a second to make a video because I have nothing else better to do than to sit on my butt and play these games. So why not take a second to talk about it while I'm playing the game, right? That's gonna be it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish or Childish Plays checking out. Take care, and we will see you all in the next Destiny 6 video. I'm out.